Should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it?
It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control. Can't take it.
Hey everybody, Chris from 6 Wins, and I'm here with Matt. And before we get into the matchups today, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face like our background, because that's what people do. Yeah. So we got 2 matchups here today, and I'm super excited. So the first matchup is number 6 seed, Daniel Bryan, aka Bryan Danielson, versus number 11 seed, Sami Zayn. Awesome matchup. And our second matchup is the game. Should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it?
It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control. Can't take it. That should go in the opening.
Versus JBL. I hate JBL. JBL's... I hate him. But we had an interesting thing. So we've spliced in a surprise triple threat, and we actually did that with Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn. Yeah. Now, when we unveiled the bracket, we caught some flack for not having Dolph Ziggler. So we were like, hey, you want Dolph in this bracket? He can be in the bracket, but he's gonna fit like a glove here with Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn. See if he can sell that. I will say, guy could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves.
We both are Ziggler. We're both big Ziggler fans.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was one guy we were bummed didn't make the bracket. I think we wanted to pick him, but we were worried we'd be a little too biased. And then seeing other people were like, he should probably be in here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And when it came down to us doing the bracket, like, I can't tell you how many times we were like, oh, Ziggler would go good here. But then we got to the 16 seeds and we're like, oh, that feels like too low for Ziggler.
Yeah. Didn't want to just throw him in there to not get any votes.
Right.
Because he's more deserving than to just get blown out by The Undertaker, you know?
Exactly. So 5 superstars.
Sweet.
Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn.
That was a Drew McIntyre.
Oh, I was trying to do Kevin Owens. You do a pretty good Kevin Owens. Can you do a quick Kevin Owens?
Yeah. Sammy, in our home of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. No, that wasn't that good. But
that's pretty good.
Sami Zayn and I go way back. It's close. I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
I'll get it later.
Yeah. Sorry to put you on the spot. So, Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, Triple H, JBL. 5 superstars. We've been talking a little bit about this new bracket we're gonna roll out here very, very soon. Best TV show.
Yeah.
And you can't talk best TV show without bringing up this popular sitcom.
I think I know what you're going for, but
Seinfeld.
I was assuming, yeah.
Jerry, George, Kramer, Elaine. And I didn't even stop to ask you if you have ever watched Seinfeld.
I know enough Seinfeld, yeah. I know enough to put them in the roles for sure.
Okay. So you got 4, and if you want to have a special Newman with your 5th, you can. But if you want to leave someone out, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to leave JBL out because I don't think he deserves to be in Seinfeld or even Newman. So
fair enough. I would go. I think Triple H is going to be Jerry.
Okay. Yeah.
And D-Bry is going to be George. I actually think he can play a good kind of pathetic-y Weasley guy at times, but also be a main focus and be a more serious role.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Bryan really fits there good for George. This is hard because I really want Dolph to be a lot of these roles, but because of his hair, I guess I'm going to put him as Elaine.
Okay.
But I think he makes so much more sense as Kramer or Newman. Let me go. JBL is going to be Newman, which means I have to put Sami Zayn as Kramer, but that doesn't work. I might have to flip him and Dolph.
Okay.
It's a toss-up. Give me Sami Zayn as Elaine and Dolph Ziggler as Kramer, I guess.
Okay.
Because I think I don't care. You can do whoever's making this. You can go either way. It's fine. Triple H, Jerry, Daniel Bryan, George, Dolph Ziggler, Kramer, Sami Zayn, Elaine, and JBL Newman.
Okay, perfect.
Just lineup.
I think mine are pretty close. So Triple H is Jerry. He's kind of like the center of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Papa H, head of creative. He's got to be Jerry. I will agree with you. I will put. Wait, who did you put as George?
Daniel Bryan.
Okay, I like that. I'm gonna go Sami Zayn as Kramer, but it's got to be conspiracy. Sami Zayn, remember?
Yeah, that was one of my favorite Sami Zayn.
Yeah, he was so good. Everything, he's just knocked it out of the park. But
yeah.
pre-Bloodline, we're talking like Jackass comedy.
Yeah.
Conspiracy, because I feel like Kramer's always like conjuring up.
He's totally, yeah.
And then gotta go Ziggler as Elaine.
I should have left it.
And then we're gonna leave JBL out because I don't
that's fine.
care for him.
Yeah.
So with these actual matchups, Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, triple threat is like, aside from the fact that like this would be like one of the best actual wrestling matches, do you got any thoughts about this one? Like who you taking? Maybe favorite moment?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep my thoughts super compartmentalized so I don't like run around too much, because I easily could get lost with how awesome all these guys are and the great moments they've had. I think in-ring ability is, I would actually have Sami maybe the lowest.
Okay.
I think he can probably sell just as good as Dolph. Dolph is the best seller. Daniel Bryan's also a good seller. These guys are all like high A rank. Obviously, people think Daniel Bryan is like the best in-ring worker, one of the best currently going. I don't think Dolph Ziggler is that far behind, honestly. He might not have all the technical skills, but when Dolph Ziggler gets kicked in the face or clotheslined and flips 9 times, like, I don't care how good his moves look. The way he sells things, like, I want to watch him get beat up. So I would almost feel like Dolph Ziggler is just as good for Daniel Bryan in-ring as me when I'm watching.
Yeah.
Not from an entertainment perspective and not from a technical perspective. I think Dolph Ziggler is also probably one of the most, was maybe slightly higher for his whole career, entertaining-wise, on the mic. I think he always comes out and he's really good. He can be a great heel. He can be a pretty good baby face. Probably not a better face than Sami's run right now or Daniel Bryan's run. This is so weird because Dolph wasn't in this, but I would maybe pick Dolph Ziggler over both of these two.
Okay.
I will just say, up until Conspiracy Sami Zayn, when he came in and he was only face and you're just supposed to like him because he was a popular guy and he did good in NXT, I didn't get it.
Okay.
I was like, I don't have anything against him, but like I don't love him as much, and just because he was great in NXT doesn't mean I'm gonna cheer for him now and be like, this guy's awesome, despite how good he is in the ring and all the amazing stuff he can do. So up until very recently, I was just like average on Sami Zayn. So that's why he would kind of be lower for me, and I surprised myself with Dolph.
Yeah, for sure. And I think if this whole Bloodline feud had never happened, I don't know if Sami Zayn would have been definitely not ranked this high.
Hard to sneak in the bracket.
Might have not even have been on the bracket, sad to say. But that being said, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I've been watching since the early 90s. The whole Bloodline storyline, it's my favorite storyline ever told in wrestling, period. Ziggler is awesome. We actually called in an expert for this one. We posted it on our Instagram, and his name is Will. What up, Will?
What up?
And this is what he said. He said, the other two guys are great, but I'm going Daniel Bryan all day. He said, you take Daniel Bryan, you put him against damn near anybody, Daniel Bryan wins. And I was thinking about that. It's just like, that's hard to argue. If like him and Ziggler are neck and neck in terms of in-ring ability, Ziggler probably sells better, but Daniel Bryan, for me, is just more entertaining to watch in the ring. And then you're like, okay, well, if he's that good in the ring, what about his mic work? He's fantastic on the mic. Like, he's never cut a promo where I was just like, oh, it's obvious that he's acting. He's had so many great runs. Even before the whole Yes movement, there was like him with Kane.
Yes,
and then
I'm the tag team champion in the anger management. We would quote that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the tag team champion. And then like when he first started the Yes, then that started to catch on, and I don't know whose decision it was, but then like that was getting too over. So then he started, no.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he had like the WrestleMania 30 moment, which is awesome.
Yeah.
He joined the Wyatt family and him turning on Bray.
That was almost like a pre-Bloodline. It was like very similar to a Bloodline storyline where a guy joined and then was going to break away and turn on him, and everybody wanted him to turn on him so bad, and the pop when he finally turned on the Wyatt family.
Oh, yeah.
Very similar to Zayn.
So good. Then he retired, and then he came back. He was white hot, and then his whole like welcome back tour kind of fizzled out a little bit, and then he was just like, I want to go heel and do this Planets Champion thing. Underrated. That was awesome. So Daniel Bryan is my choice. And we put it up to a vote. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Actually, not on TikTok, this one, but...
Yeah, we can't do triple threats. We might post them and just you have to comment for that third guy that we don't think is going to win, but it kind of seems unfair to have more work for a third guy, so we might not post them there.
Right. So Instagram, Twitter, we put it up. Again, pretty good showing for the other two, but Daniel Bryan did move on. He's moving on to the second round. That's one win for Daniel Bryan, and he's going to face the winner of Triple H versus JBL.
Daniel.
Daniel.
We used to do that too.
Yeah, we did that. Daniel.
Daniel, we have a tag match, and I'm gonna send him straight to hell.
Yeah. So we went to WrestleMania 31 when we lived in California. We lived in I was Los Angeles, Orange, and so it was a good 4-hour drive up to. We went to the Raw after Mania, and we drove home wee hours of the morning, and the only thing that kept us going were Kane impressions and Ryback impressions.
Special Ryback impression video coming in a few weeks for sure.
Yes, and if you got a good one, send it to us. We love impressions. So Triple H JBL. This was Triple H is a 3 seed. JBL is a 14 seed. Did you have any thoughts on this one?
Not in terms of who I'd vote for. These are again. I know a lot of people really like Triple H, and just he was a good enough heel. I think he worked me over. But there's a time when I was a wrestling fan, and he was a heel champ for too long, and I didn't like him anymore, and I still hold that grudge. I think he just worked me over, and he lives rent free. And I'm just I don't like this guy because of how his heel run went, and he was champion for too long, and I got mad at him for it, and I take it personally. So I don't really like Triple H, and it bleeds over into real life, probably unfairly, but good job for him.
Great job.
As a heel. JBL also, I guess, worked me that way. I don't know, they both worked me up, and I feel like I also shouldn't like them outside of wrestling. JBL for sure, for stories I've heard. So, but I would vote Triple H. JBL had some good runs as a good antagonist, especially John Cena, and I think with Eddie Guerrero, and kind of around that time when it did dip a little bit in quality, and a lot of people weren't tuning in and stuff. But I don't think JBL would be able to hold a candle to everything Triple H has done.
Yeah. I'm going Triple H all day, and I don't. So I start off by saying I hate JBL. It's not necessarily true. His height came when I wasn't really watching. 05 to 08 were those key, kind of crucial years. Tail end of Ruthless Aggression, beginning of PG, I think was when he was at his biggest, and it just happened to be when I wasn't watching. I will say, when he came back in to do commentary, I thought he was kind of a breath of fresh air. I thought Cole and King were getting kind of stale, especially with Vince in their ear, and I thought JBL brought something pretty good. I think I'm in the minority with that. I think a lot of people did not like JBL, but I thought he brought a layer of just he kind of seemed more natural, he wasn't so robotic. But that being said, we did put it up to a vote, and JBL actually tapped out.
Oh.
And we've implemented this rule when it's 2 hours in, and one superstar hasn't, is still at less than 5%, they're gonna tap out. We run a second match. So Triple H won in a landslide, and I'm very excited because we get the WrestleMania 30 rematch.
Jeez.
Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, and we'll see that in the second round.
Wow.